lines. All right, the next one, which you appear to be more emotionally invested in.
This was so weird, dude.
The Mac guy, Justin Long, converted over to PC. Intel has gotten to him. He did a series of, I'll just do a quick recap. He did a series of commercials for Intel. This is the guy from the famous I'm a Mac, I'm a PC commercial series. It was a number of videos, and he has now done a number of videos, a series of videos for Intel talking about why you want a PC and not a Mac. So the complete flip, the complete opposite. Have you watched any of these clips?
I watched one.
Do you remember which one?
Don't remember which one it was. It would have been one of the top ones there.
Well, there's one.
It wasn't
He
the
has.
gaming
Okay,
one.
so there's one actually.
The very first, the one on the far left. 2-in-1 flexibility.
2-in-1. Okay.
Because I watched that one specifically because this is the product category.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. 2-in-1 versus iPad.
Yeah. But it's the product category that I feel like Intel would want to combat the hardest. So I'm like, what did they bring in this at? And it was so stupid. Like, it didn't feel like something Intel would have done in the past. Forget about market positioning and like what they're trying to achieve here. It didn't feel like something Intel would have done in the past because this felt so desperate. Intel's never been in this situation where they've been clawing at market share.
Well, they
like
had
this.
one situation relatively recently where they were on Twitter, I believe.
Okay.
And it was a similar vibe to this campaign.
For what product?
It was just around their laptop chips in general. Like, I think they were maybe talking about like some Adobe apps, or it was some sort of M1 saltiness.
It was, okay, I do remember. But it's the same, it's part of the same campaign to me. It's like they have this weird thing right now. Intel has this weird thing where they're trying to show how relevant they are by screaming, "I'm relevant." It's so weird.
Right. So it sounds to me that you see absolutely zero upside to what they're doing here.
None.
Zero.
No. I mean, it looks okay. From
But
the
even the fact,
perspective,
okay, what about just along the lines of whatever other commercials Intel would have done, we wouldn't be talking about right now.
so you're saying they wanted to look like clowns?
I mean, the internet is weird. The internet is so weird. It's we can't avoid the memes. The memes are landmines that we always step on.
Right. Okay.
And I'm not, look, for the record, I'm just putting that out there.
Right.
This is the complexity of the conversation that I was talking about with Will when it first happened yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like that they may have executed it poorly,
Okay.
but that is news. The
Sure.
Mac guy becoming the PC guy, it's on every tech website.
Right.
It's on this show. It's on every show. It's on, even if it plays in a person's home on TV.
Okay.
What is their takeaway? The Mac guy is a PC guy.
Okay.
I'm talking the average person that isn't really super invested in it the way that we are, that isn't analyzing M1 benchmarks.
But when you make a commercial like this, where it's this exact transfer, right? Person X has now become person Y. When you have that type of marketing campaign, it just doesn't. It's just a bad look, especially in North America.
Dude, it's awkward. It's everything you're saying.
Right.
I completely
So
agree
how is
with.
that a win?
Because
In any manner.
Because in the end, what is the necessary takeaway? The necessary takeaway is that you watched it. Because if you watched it, you would at least recognize the fact, at least in the case of this clip, that, oh yeah, Apple doesn't have a 2-in-1 product. That's it.
Okay.
That's all you need to know.
And that's their goal.
How else does Intel let me know and everyone in the world know in a moment for a reasonable amount of money
Right. That they have a 2-in-1 product.
that they have a 2-in-1 and Apple doesn't? They tried it with a kid. They had a random nobody do this exact same thing. And I
I guess you're
apologize for
right.
calling the person a nobody. An actor. They
Sure.
had a young actor be like, I want the Surface, or I don't remember what the product
Sure.
was, because I can do this and that and
Sure.
flip it and flap it and whatever else.
Okay.
And it didn't make news. It was like, oh, there's Intel being petty again.
Sure.
If you're going to be petty,
Bring a
if you're
bring
going
a
to be
Justin
petty,
Long
be
in.
petty big.
I guess It's effective in that manner. Sure.
It also gets the Mac people screaming. Like
or laughing. I'm not a Mac guy.
talking.
Sure.
Like the people hate this conversation about like the idea of, it's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to
Sure.
hear it. The weird philosophical conversation.
Okay.
I mean, step one of marketing is getting a message to you.
Right.
Any message
And it's better than no message.
is better than no message.
Right.
In most circumstances, because look, if you were such a hardcore Mac person that this really bugs you, or
Right.
you're one of these people in the comments that are angry about it, you weren't going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I just from the perspective of efficacy, right? How many people are watching this and now going, "Oh, now my purchase decision is made. I will be going for that
No,
too." Right?
it's not that fast though. It doesn't
Right.
need to be that fast. It's just now there's a fragment inside your mind of, I should probably also check out 2-in-1s, and you're not even sure how it got there.
Yeah. Okay. From that perspective, I can see how this. I mean,
They
if that
could
was
have got
their-
a celebrity. That's the one thing you could say. They could have got LeBron James, paid him Pepsi money.
It wouldn't have had the kind of shotgun.
It wouldn't
effect
have as
that
much
this did.
reach in the tech community,
Yeah.
that's for sure. But they could have run a campaign on television or to the general public. I saw that recently. I think it was Epson got Shaquille O'Neal, and he's selling ink. And you're like, that is such a weird fit. But
Right.
but it's just, this is how the endorsement stuff works. It's familiarity.
Okay.
It's like, I've heard that person speak before. You have granted them greater access
Right.
to your data bank through the nature of familiarity.
Right.
And so the same kind of weird thing happens here, where even through your anger, you have received the information. Now, I'm not saying that was their intent, by the way. I
Right,
think
okay.
they would have preferred if it was pulled off better. I gave a shout out to Justin Long. I said, like, look, dude, get paid. Do your thing, get paid. Nobody else is banging down your door.
Right.
Hollywood sucks right now. You can't catch a break. Take the gig. But if I'm Intel, he obviously could look a little bit less terrified. If I'm Intel, like, I think this is where a lot of the discomfort comes in.
Because of his awkwardness in
The
this?
script wasn't amazing.
Right.
His entry line is, I'm a person. Like, that's what because he used to say I'm a Mac,
Yes.
and now it's like
I'm a person.
I'm a regular guy, or whatever the hell it is he says. What did he say, Will? I'm a what? Maybe play it. Play a second. Just play a second of it. I'm a what?
Or you can just throw on
Just a real person doing a real comparison.
Just
A
a
real
real person.
person.
Like, what? Who signed off on that? What is a real person? If everyone else is fake, the old him was fake. He's an actor still. It's very complex because he's saying, I'm just a real. Well, you're an actor being paid to say that you're a real person, so you're not a real person.
right.
Whoa. That's like that meme with the brain.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, wait a second.
That was my only issue with it, right? It wasn't the message itself. It was how it was delivered in this
Yeah.
weirdly awkward manner.
And I feel that, and I hear that. I got one more angle on it, which is the comparison at all. Never
Why
mind
make that
Justin
comparison?
Long. Never mind I'm a Mac, I'm a PC.
Sure.
Never mind the M1.
Sure.
Should Intel bother? Again, you're on the marketing team.
Okay.
Should Intel bother with the Mac comparison and what
No.
it perceives to be its advantages, or
You
should
leave
it
it.
just not even touch it?
You want you're just drawing attention to a sore spot.
Hmm.
You know, every time there's there's no point. There's no point drawing attention to this benchmark, and getting sweaty with the technical stuff, because they're two dichotomous things. Like, you're trying to make this appeal to the average person, right? To bring the idea of existence of 2-in-1s into their minds, and yet you're bringing in these technical comparisons and stuff. It's just it doesn't go well.
So your version of this commercial is what? They want to tell
Okay, let's
you.
say they got Justin Long.
Oh, no, they don't even need just. Okay, sure, they've got.
No, but I
Justin
mean,
Long.
you need to have Justin Long.
Oh,
He's
you
the-
like just having Justin Long
I
there.
think without him, you don't get the visibility,
Amplification,
right? You need
Okay.
that. Okay, so you need him. What does it look like? I don't know, man. Not this.
I mean, this is obviously it's a very hard task. I'm putting you on the spot here,
Right.
so I don't expect. I mean, it's a difficult one, but I'm not. I would assume that there's enough people working there and enough money on the line that
Right.
that there was some sort of a market study. I mean, this is
For
big
sure.
for them to put 5-6 things out. They knew it was going to go everywhere.
Right.
Again, it probably wasn't executed exactly how they wanted, but I would assume that they have lost customers to MacBooks.
And also to AMD stuff as well.
And
Yeah.
of course the AMD stuff, but I don't think that they feel they can easily recapture that. I
Right.
think they think that the MacBook target is feasible. Obviously they do. They put a
Right.
lot of energy into this.
Right.
Obviously they do. But it's a tough one to figure out the correct approach because like if this is just a video that's lacking the MacBook, it definitely doesn't have 200,000 views. If this is a
Right.
video of Justin Long playing with a 2-in-1 and no reference to the Mac, he's like, check out this new cool
Yeah, no one.
2-in-1.
It's not controversial enough.
Yeah. So anyway, it's complicated. There's one other one. Go back, which I think might actually be cringier, which was the gaming one. The second one to your left. Yeah, there you go.
See, the gaming one is. I feel like this was completely unnecessary
Okay.
because no one, right? No gamers can.
Real comparison between them. So you're a PC gamer? What's up with you? You're doing all this gaming on a laptop then? Yep. Wow. Okay. And do we have a Mac?
No one really games on a Mac.
I know.
What did that one change something for you or
No,
okay?
I didn't like it. Obviously,
You know what I think one of the problems maybe with this is also that the whole thing feels antiquated.
yeah,
The whole thing feels like it happened 10 years ago.
yeah,
And it did happen 10 years ago. Or whenever maybe even
Original-
more than 10.
right.
Whenever the original commercial series, like
I'm a
him
Mac.
doing the act of, I know nobody games on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It feels like it would have been funny or
Right.
possibly easier to receive.
10, 12 years ago.
It's really interesting.
There's some production error going on here.
What are you seeing? Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's not really there.
Yeah, it's just an overlay. I think it's to make the screen brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
They should have masked that, man.
Yeah.
Disappointed in their production team.
Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna go. This stuff is also very easy to chew on, like to just chew up completely.
Right.
It's so easy we just point and we
Right.
didn't have to make it, and
Right.
and making things is hard,
Yes.
and especially executing something like this where you have a specific mandate and there's a lot of money and jobs on the line.
Right.
You get to just make something, and be like, I like it, get rid of it.
Right.
But there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. And the
And-
messaging has to last, not just a day, right?
And
The-
to a variety of audiences, and the point is,
Right.
it's just hard. But I will just say, in a defense of Windows and
Sure.
Intel, and you look at the table that he has in front of him there. You look at that Zen book there with the dual displays and things
Yep.
like this.
it's cool.
There are interesting things happening in PCs that are worth looking at in PC laptops.
Absolutely.
And if this makes some people that weren't previously thinking of doing so look into potentially a PC laptop, they
Right.
might find it. They might be surprised what they find. Now, obviously, you're not going to find an M1 chip anywhere,
Right.
but you will find a variety of other features that might be cool or useful to you.
Yeah, and I'm not taking that away from them. I feel like Intel's strength is right, like gaming, having the flexibility and having choice. There's a lot of good stuff that Intel does, or just like non-MacBooks do really well. Windows laptops excel in many things, but that first video, the one with the most views and the one that had the most attention, the whole idea of having like 2-in-1s, like that is a very niche market, and you're trying to sell this product, you're trying to sell a brand off of this extremely niche product that just felt really weird, man.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly not perfect. It's got plenty of issues. It deserves the criticism.
They should have gotten you to like just bend it in half.
I'm like, you see this MacBook? I hate it. Bang. Yeah, no, I think the response might have even been worse, actually, if that was
my
to take
God.
place. Well, let's look at the comments. Let's see what the people are saying. It appears to have attracted 3,500 thumbs down. This is literally Intel admitting they're being tag teamed by AMD and
my
Apple
God.
right now. Yeah, there's the AMD factor, which you mentioned previously, which doesn't help.
Right.
It doesn't
It just
help.
eats into them more.
It's definitely coming from both sides, and they certainly feel somewhat desperate at the moment. But
yeah.
I think this is, I guess for me, my sympathy comes in as far as being the armchair quarterback and never being fully satisfied at analyzing something without putting myself in the exact seat of the person that was forced to make those decisions.
Okay.
I want to imagine what it was like to sit there. I want to imagine what it was like to be Justin. I want to imagine the marketing director at Intel. I want to imagine all these people along the way that had an impossible job in front of them,
Right.
who weren't the engineers, who
Yeah.
didn't develop a product.
Yeah.
That's just part of the process for me when I'm trying to get to the bottom of something. Is it's not enough to just say that's a piece of crap. I hate it,
Right.
because it's not comprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
And it is way harder to do things than to criticize them.
Right. Absolutely. And so I think it's unfair. I see what you're saying. For me to look at this ad and this whole campaign, there's parts of it that are comical, but they have a task. Like they're required to, right? They need to put out some kind of campaign out there that does this. So I get it. It just feels
Yeah.
so unlike them.
I mean, and obviously they would love to have an M1 of their own.
Right.
I mean, that's the root of it. And that's what's aggravating, I think, to tech fans is they're like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to do this if you had that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is our last story of the day. Dave, it has been a pleasure having you
Yeah,
on the
man.
show. I know Willie Doos enjoyed it. I saw him smirking over there on a number of occasions. You have decided not to promote anything today, but I think you should. I asked you before.
There's
I said,
nothing
"What
to
are you
promote,
promoting?
man."
What's your latest book that you've written?
latest book.
Where's your new music? Where can people hear your
Where's
new
my
music?
mixtape?
Yeah, where's your mixtape?
I don't have anything to promote. Don't even go visit my channel unless you actually care about that stuff. Because it's I'm serious, man. I hate drawing.